Have you ever found yourself lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep doesn't come as easily as it used to? Or maybe you drift off quickly but wake up feeling like you barely rested at all. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we get older, our sleep patterns change, sometimes in ways that leave us feeling more tired than refreshed. But here's the good news: small adjustments to your bedtime routine can make a world of difference in how you feel every day. Today, we're talking about something that might seem simple but has a huge impact on your health, energy, and overall well-being: what time you should go to bed after 70. You might be surprised to learn that doctors have some very specific advice on this, and it's not just about getting enough sleep, but about getting the right kind of sleep at the right time. So, let's dive in. We'll start by understanding why sleep changes as we age, then explore the best bedtime window for seniors, and finally, share some practical tips to help you fall asleep and stay asleep more easily. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer idea of how to structure your evenings for better rest and better health. First, let's talk about why sleep becomes trickier after 70. You see, as we age, our bodies produce less melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep. This can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep through the night. On top of that, many seniors find they wake up earlier than they'd like, even if they didn't get a full night's rest. It's frustrating, but it's not inevitable. Understanding these changes is the first step to working with them instead of against them. Now, you might be wondering, what's the ideal bedtime for someone my age? Well, research suggests that seniors tend to feel their best when they go to bed between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. This aligns with our natural circadian rhythms, the internal clock that tells us when to wake up and when to wind down. Going to bed too late can throw off this rhythm, leaving you groggy the next day. But here's the key: it's not just about when you go to bed, but also about how you prepare for it. That brings us to our first practical tip: creating a relaxing bedtime routine. Think of this as a gentle signal to your body that it's time to unwind. Maybe it's a warm cup of caffeine-free tea, a few pages of a good book, or some light stretching. The goal is to avoid stimulating activities, like watching intense TV shows or scrolling through your phone, right before bed. The blue light from screens can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime, making it even harder to fall asleep. Another important factor is consistency. Our bodies thrive on routine, so try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, yes, even on weekends. At first, this might feel a little restrictive, but over time, your body will adjust, and you'll likely find yourself feeling more rested and energized. Now, let's talk about naps. A short nap during the day can be refreshing, but if you're struggling with nighttime sleep, it's best to keep naps to 20 or 30 minutes and avoid napping too late in the afternoon. Otherwise, you might not feel tired when bedtime rolls around. These are just a few of the adjustments that can make a big difference in your sleep quality. And the best part? They're all within your control. Small changes, like dimming the lights an hour before bed or setting a regular sleep schedule, can help you wake up feeling more vibrant and ready to enjoy your day. But we're just getting started. There's more to explore when it comes to optimizing your sleep after 70, like the role of diet, exercise, and even your bedroom environment. So, let's keep going and uncover more ways to help you sleep soundly and wake up refreshed. You know, it's interesting, when we think about sleep, we often focus on the hours we spend in bed, but what happens before we even get there plays a huge role in how well we rest. That's why, in addition to setting a consistent bedtime, paying attention to what we eat and drink in the evening can make all the difference. Let's start with diet. Have you ever noticed that a heavy meal right before bed leaves you tossing and turning? That's because digestion slows down as we age, and lying down with a full stomach can lead to discomfort or even heartburn. Doctors recommend finishing dinner at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. If you need a little something later in the evening, opt for a light snack, something like a banana, a small handful of almonds, or a cup of warm milk. These foods contain natural compounds that can actually promote sleep, like tryptophan and magnesium. Now, let's talk about hydration. It's important to drink enough water during the day, but try to taper off in the evening to avoid those middle-of-the-night trips to the bathroom. Cutting back on fluids about 2 hours before bed can help, but don't sacrifice your daytime hydration, just shift the timing a bit. And while we're on the topic of what we drink, let's not forget about caffeine and alcohol. That after-dinner coffee or evening glass of wine might feel like a treat, but both can interfere with sleep. Caffeine can stay in your system for hours, and while alcohol might make you feel drowsy at first, it actually disrupts the deeper, restorative stages of sleep. Speaking of disruptions, let's talk about your sleep environment. Is your bedroom a sanctuary for rest, or is it working against you? Small tweaks here can have a big impact. First, think about light. Even small amounts of light from a street lamp or a charging device can trick your brain into thinking it's time to wake up. Blackout curtains or a simple sleep mask can help. Then there's noise. If outside sounds or a snoring partner keep you up, consider a white noise machine or a fan to create a soothing background hum. Temperature matters, too. As we age, our bodies don't regulate temperature as well, and many seniors find they sleep better in a slightly cooler room, around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. If you often wake up too hot or too cold, experiment with lighter or heavier blankets, or even moisture-wicking pajamas to help keep you comfortable. And here's a tip you might not expect: your bed itself could be part of the problem. If your mattress is more than 7 or 8 years old, it might not be giving you the support you need. A mattress that's too soft or too firm can lead to aches and pains, making it harder to sleep soundly. If a new mattress isn't in the budget right now, a mattress topper can sometimes provide enough extra cushion or support to make a difference. Now, let's not forget about movement. You might think that being less active as you get older means you need less sleep, but the opposite is actually true. Regular physical activity helps you sleep better. The key is timing. Gentle exercise, like a leisurely walk or some stretching, earlier in the day can promote deeper sleep, but try to avoid anything too vigorous close to bedtime, as it can be stimulating. These adjustments might seem small, but together, they create a foundation for better sleep. And when you sleep better, you're not just avoiding groggy mornings, you're supporting your immune system, your mood, and even your long-term brain health. But there's still more to explore, especially when it comes to the mind-body connection and how stress or worry can keep us awake. So, let's keep going, because a good night's sleep is within reach, and you deserve to wake up feeling your best. You know, one of the biggest sleep stealers after 70 isn't something physical, it's what's happening in our minds. How many nights have you found yourself lying awake, replaying conversations from decades ago or worrying about things that might never happen? Our golden years should be peaceful, yet sometimes our brains have other ideas. That's why learning to quiet the mind is just as important as any bedtime routine. Let's start with stress. It's natural to have concerns, but when they follow us to bed, they can keep us awake for hours. Here's a simple trick doctors recommend: try scheduling your worries earlier in the day. Set aside 15 minutes in the afternoon to write down what's troubling you, whether it's health concerns, family matters, or anything else. Then, when those thoughts creep in at night, remind yourself, I've already addressed this today. It sounds almost too simple, but this act of mentally filing away your worries can make a remarkable difference. Now, if you do find yourself awake in the middle of the night with a racing mind, don't just lie there frustrated. After about 20 minutes of wakefulness, get up and go to another room. Do something quiet and dull, like reading a physical book, not an e-reader, or folding laundry, until you feel sleepy again. Staying in bed while frustrated trains your brain to associate the bedroom with wakefulness, which we definitely want to avoid. Here's another powerful tool: breathing exercises. The 4-7-8 technique works wonders. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, then exhale completely through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat this 3 or 4 times. It activates your body's relaxation response, slowing your heart rate and signaling that it's time to sleep. Many of my viewers in their 70s and 80s tell me this became their secret weapon against nighttime wakefulness. Now, let's talk about something we haven't mentioned yet: medications. Many common prescriptions can interfere with sleep, from blood pressure medications to certain antidepressants. If you've noticed your sleep patterns changed after starting a new medication, don't just accept it as inevitable. Have an open conversation with your doctor. Sometimes adjusting the timing of your dose or switching to a different medication can solve the problem without compromising your health. And while we're discussing professional help, let's address sleep disorders. Conditions like sleep apnea become more common as we age, and they're not something you should try to tough out. If you often wake up gasping, if your partner notices you stop breathing during sleep, or if you feel exhausted despite spending enough time in bed, talk to your doctor about a sleep study. Treatments today are more comfortable and effective than ever. As we wrap up, let's remember that sleep after 70 isn't about chasing perfection, it's about making consistent, gentle improvements. Maybe tonight you'll try turning off the TV an hour earlier. Tomorrow, you might experiment with that 4-7-8 breathing. Small steps add up to big changes over time. You've spent decades caring for others, now it's time to care for yourself in this simple but profound way. Because when you sleep well, you're not just helping your body, you're giving yourself the energy to enjoy all those beautiful moments that make life after 70 so precious. Whether it's playing with grandchildren, pursuing hobbies, or simply savoring a quiet morning with a good cup of coffee, quality sleep makes it all better. I'd love to hear what works for you. Have you discovered any great sleep tips in your own life? Share them in the comments below so we can all learn from each other. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on living your best life after 70. Here's to your health, your rest, and all the joyful tomorrows ahead. Sweet dreams, my friend. You've earned them.